Now that the motherboard's in place and we've connected all of our front panel connectors on the motherboard, we can install the power supply. You can install it two ways. The first way is the fan facing upwards. This is how I prefer to mount my power supply. The advantage is you're taking air from the inside of the case and exhausting it out the back. The disadvantage is that you'll be intaking warm air and it accumulates dust because there's no dust filters in the case. But if you mount it with the fan facing down, it'll intake cool air from the outside of the case and exhaust it out the back. And dust won't even get inside the fan because there's a dust filter in the intake. But if you leave your case on the carpet, you might suffocate the fan, causing the power supply to overheat and possibly catch on fire. Today we'll mount it face up because there are no fans in the back of our case. So to install the PSU, make sure that your fan is the right orientation, depending on what you decide, and slide it in the case. Now take the four screws included in the PSU box and lightly screw them so that the PSU does not slide out of place. Now that you've lightly screwed in the power supply to the case, you can now grab the 24-pin connector and use the case cable management to run the cable to where it needs to go. So I'll put mine here because my 24-pin connector is right behind here. And we'll worry about cable management later. Now I need to connect the extra 4-pin power to my... I'll be using this hole. And stretching it all the way over to the other side. I know this is not ideal, but like that, at least it looks sort of nice. Beautiful. Alright, so I'm in the middle of editing part 2, and I realized that we didn't record how to install the hard drive. So, what you want to do is take out the hard drive trays from the case. As you can tell, this is a really great quality. And get your hard drives. So we'll be using a laptop hard drive and the SSD. And you should just find some screws in the case's box. And all you do is grab the screws and align them up with the tray and make sure that the ports are facing the correct way, so that's easy to plug in when you put it into the case. Flip it over and screw in the screws. So let's get a time lapse on me screwing in these screws. Yeah. Alright, so we have successfully installed both hard drives and SSD into the drive bays. So now we need to put them back in. So slide them back in until they click. Oh, actually no. Now get one SATA cable and plug it into the SATA port in your SSD or hard drive. And then get a SATA power connector and plug it into the power, which is over here. Alright. Get the second drive and do the exact same thing. Cool. That's done, and I'll send you back to pass Daniel. We want to plug both of these drives into the motherboard, and our SATA ports are conveniently placed right above the hard drive trays. So I guess you can plug them into anyone. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I can plug them into anyone. Alright, that's SSD done. And now, the last connection we can now plug in the case fans to power via Molex. So I've just got the two front ones, linked them together and plugged the Molex here. And I've done the exact same with the two top ones. Found the other Molex cable that's tucked under here and shoved it away. Awesome. Now it's time to install the graphics card. We'll be using the GTX 1050 OC, and this doesn't require any extra power, so yay. I forgot to mention, before you insert your graphics card, you need to take out the holders. The arrows are pointing to what you need to take out. So now we just make sure that all the connectors are lined up with the PCIe slot, and we just line it up. Making sure not to scratch anything because this is your pride and joy. We'll just wait for the to hear click from the little secure thing. So cool. So it clicked and it's nice and secure. But to make sure that nothing bad happens to it when transporting it to LAN parties or something, we'll just grab the screws from the case and we'll just screw it in over here. And now we need to put this secure bracket so that nothing bad happens apparently to our case. So we'll also do that. If I can get onto the screwdriver. And that's your video card installed. Now it's time for cable management. Now I'm not a pro at cable management, but let's give it a try. I've already tried to zip tie these down here. We'll just hide these behind here because no one's going to actually see it since there's like a block on the case. And yeah. It's fine. They'll all work. Nothing's going to get damaged, hopefully. And that's cable management done. Cause see, you can't see it. Look, so good. So bad. All right. So we're going to be using a stock AMD cooler because it was cheaper because it was already included with our CPU and we were working with a budget. If you were to install another CPU cooler, just follow the instructions that it came with. Alright, so now that we've built our computer, we can now see if it powers on. So cameraman, will you do the honors? The unknown cameraman. And, okay, so this is what it looked like. Pretty cool LEDs, and now we'll see if it boots. Hey, look at that. Starting Windows. So, if you had trouble installing Windows, you can click on this video here, and we explain roughly how to install Windows on a computer. Now we'll just do some benchmarks, and we'll get back to you guys. It's alright, so I just finished 3D Mark, and it says that a result is not found. I don't know. If you know how to fix this, please tell us. But during the tests, we got an average of 60 to 70 frames per second, which is not bad. For PC Mark, we got a score of 2,268. This is better than 29% of all the results. We think this is pretty good, but we'll have a better understanding once we do more tests with other computers. So if you know what this number means, please tell us in the comments. After stress testing our CPU and i64 for around 45 minutes, we reached temperatures of 42 degrees, which is actually quite good, considering that this is at stock settings. When doing our GTA benchmarks, we did see the average frames per second was 80. During the chase explosion scene,
it did drop down to 33 frames per second, but that was its slowest. And during the jet scene, it did rise to 111 frames per second. So for Far Cry 4, we got an average frame rate of 60 frames per second. Don't worry, it's not as jumpy as it looks on the screen, it's just the screen recording program that we used is actually quite bad. During some intense Minecraft gaming, it did drop down to 3 frames per second, but it did recompose itself by going up to a steady 100 frames per second, which is pretty good for Minecraft. For our last test, we played BeamNG. We got an average frame rate of 70 frames per second. We played at how an average person would play BeamNG. So if you like super intense modding, it wouldn't be the same. But most people just play it for fun.
Alright, so as you can see, we have the benchmarks all done, and we have the full build done. So now, we have a random person that we saw walking in the corridor, Max, and he's coming to review our PC. Come here, Max.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. So this is the PC that we built. How do you think it looks?
Pretty hot.
Yeah?
Yeah. Pretty hot.
Right, so if you were to buy this at a store, how much would you think it will be?
$2,000-ish.
$2,000-ish.
Yeah.
Well, Max, you'll be glad to hear, to build this computer, it costed $750.
No way.
It did. So, there we go. There's Max giving us the overall review of this PC.
It's a random guy on the street. Yeah.
Alright, thank you, Max.
Thank
You can go back to class now, do some more coding.
Alright.
Now, please enjoy the cinematic footage of our gaming PC.
Alright, so thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this build, do like this video. And if you want more epic builds, subscribe to our channel and comment below what you want us to build. Cool. See you in the next video, guys.